A long time ago, a little engine worked on the island of Sodor. His name was Neil. Neil and his driver were good friends.
We've made great time today, old boy, just as always.
Just as always, indeed.
But I'm afraid I've got bad news. The men in charge of the railway just don't want old-fashioned engines like you anymore. They want modern engines.
What's wrong with me?
I said it, Neil. You're old-fashioned. You've got an open cab.
I like my open cab.
So do I. But the men in charge don't see things the way we do. I'm afraid today was your last day in service.
I thought you said we had one more job tonight.
We do.
Does manager know?
He's not manager anymore after tonight. Not for me, anyway. We're just taking some supplies to a friend of mine.
If it's our last job together, so be it. Old-fashioned indeed. Fashion is flitting.
I'm not happy about this either, Neil. But I'm happy we've had so long together.
Glenn, good to see you. And Neil as well.
Neil, this is my friend, Mr. Bowman. He's working on something very special and I wanted to help him with it.
I presume you've heard the news, Neil, about you and your brothers?
Yes, sir, I have.
It's a tragedy. So much history is about to be lost. That's why I want to build something that will make people see sense again. An engine. One that looks as old-fashioned as you, Neil. But one that's something entirely new.
Mr. Bauman showed Neil and his driver his blueprints. Neil smiled at the engine's open cab design.
It's beautiful. I've brought you what engine parts I could, but for what you've got drawn up there...
I know we're a long way off. It could be years before I find all the spare parts I need to build her.
Mr. Bauman? This engine? Will it remind the people of engines like me after we're gone?
Yes, Neil. Of course.
Mr. Bauman? I'd like you to use my parts. I don't need them anymore.
Are you sure about this, Neil? Glenn?
If this is what you want, Neil.
Neil had made up his mind. Neil and his driver said goodbye.
Thank you, Glenn.
I can't wait to see what you create, Peter.
Neil's driver rode a bicycle home, and Mr. Bauman got to work. Night by night, he borrowed pieces from Neil until there was nothing left. But in Neil's place, there stood the beginnings of something entirely new. Mr. Bauman stepped back and looked lovingly at his creation. He thought of Neil and smiled.
This engine will bring together the best of the past with the best of the present. She will unite our worlds and remind everyone the beauty of railways.